If we could all rise for the invocation by our chaplain, John Gerhardt, please.
Thank you, Chairman Carter. And would you bow your heads with us for the invocation? As we open this meeting of our hospital board, we pause to remember our community in prayer. We pray for our neighbors who have been affected by the fury of tornadoes that ravaged early Sunday morning. We are shocked by the ferocity of destruction. We mourn for those who have perished. And we pray comfort for the loved ones who remain. We're grateful for stories of miraculous survival and ask for strength to rebuild. In the same spirit, we pray for all those who come to this hospital in need, seeking refuge and aid. They too have been assailed by storms of accidents, illness, and the frailty of the human condition. And they cry out for our assistance, and they need our care. Grant us the resources, the wisdom, and the compassion to minister to all those who come to us seeking shelter from the storm. These things, together we pray. Amen.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll start with approval of the orders of the day. All those in favor of the orders as provided, please indicate by saying yes. Yes. Opposed? Orders of the day are approved. Now the approval of the minutes from our meeting of December 21st, excuse me. All those in favor of the approval of the minutes, please indicate by saying yes. 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 Opposed? The minutes are approved. So we'll start today with board reports. Let's see. Mr. Towler, I understand you have an announcement to make today?
I will retire from the board as of today. Thank you.
Mr. Towler, if you join me at the podium. We have a resolution for Mr. Towler, who will be resigning today from the board. This is a resolution of the Sarasota County Public Hospital Board. Whereas Thomas H. Towler is hereby honored for the 8 years of outstanding service as a Sarasota County Public Hospital Board member, Mr. Towler has served with distinction and dedication as a board member and committee chair, providing invaluable depth of experience and excellent leadership. And whereas Mr. Towler has diligently served on the Sarasota County Public Hospital Board, first as a community member on the Human Resources Committee, and later as a board member, leaving an enduring legacy on the workplace. And whereas Mr. Towler is an innovator with an entrepreneurial spirit and has championed many state-of-the-art initiatives that have enhanced care, a people person who shares the importance of the health system with everyone he meets, Mr. Towler has shared many influential people towards serving either the hospital or the foundation. Whereas Mr. Towler has been a staunch advocate for the expansion of the ambulatory system, giving residents throughout the region improved access to convenient care close to their homes and workplaces. And whereas Mr. Towler is admired far and wide for his integrity and honesty. He has been a steadfast and loyal supporter of both the hospital and the Healthcare Foundation and efforts to deliver top-quality medical services to the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that although Mr. Towler is relinquishing the seat on the hospital board, Sarasota Memorial and the community will continue to benefit from his invaluable contributions and service. Be it further resolved that Mr. Towler is hereby acknowledged for his exceptional leadership, and his name and accomplishments will be set down upon the records of this great healthcare system for all to see for years to come. It's signed by myself as chairman and David Verinder, the president and CEO. Thank you very much for your service.
Well, the only time I get to speak is when I'm going. But anyway, I came here as a volunteer in 1991, so this concludes my 25 years of entrepreneurship at the hospital. But anyway, I went through the chairs in the endoscopy department and through surgery transport, and I went on to become a healthcare aficionado through the Human Resources Committee and helped acknowledge that 3 CEOs were people that we liked and trusted. And anyway, as I go, I want to say this, that I've met many wonderful people here and so enjoyed the service here, that it's been an honor and a privilege. And my only regret, David, is because I will miss out on all the fun and the things you've put out in front of us. Thank you very much. It's been an honor and privilege to serve the community.
Time.
Pursuant to the hospital district's charter, if there is a vacancy on the board, such as we have now, the remainder of the board makes an appointment to fill the seat until the next general election. In anticipation of Mr. Towler's resignation, the Governance Effectiveness Committee, which is a committee of the whole board, interviewed potential appointees at its December 10th meeting. And Mr. Secretary, do you have a motion regarding this appointment?
I do, Mr. Chairman. I move to appoint John DeJohn, to fill at-large seat 1 under pursuant to Section 1, subparagraph 4 of the Sarasota County Public Hospital District Charter.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Mr. DeJong, while you will not be able to vote on board matters, you can sign the oath of office and have your commission return from the governor's office. I invite you to join us here at the board at this time.
Welcome aboard, John.
Do I sit here? Do I sit here?
Either one, because Alex is not here today.
Time.
Welcome, John.
Sure.
If you would like.
Well, I'd like to express the fact that I'm humbled by the taking Mr. Towler's position. And even though we both have a size 11 shoe, I'm not sure that I could ever fill what Tom has done over the years. I've seldom met anyone who had such a people-oriented attitude, and I hope that I can just present a little bit in the same spirit. So I'm honored to take his position and try to make the best of it. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, sir. Our next agenda item is the Excel Award winner. David?
Carlos? Come on up, sir. How you doing today? You don't mind standing by?
Nope. Problem.
See you.
Good.
So, our Excel recipient for the month of January is Carlos Rock. Carlos is the lead in hospitality services and central transport department. He has been an employee of Sarasota Memorial Healthcare System since July of 2000. Carlos is a great leader for transport. He is someone you can always rely on and trust. Coworkers and employees respect him because he always shows respect to others. Rock, as he's fondly referred to, is an excellent trainer with new hires and cross-trains environmental staff with the same expertise. He always displays a winning attitude you wish every employee could maintain. He greets everyone with a smile and always asks, "How are you doing today?" Carlos is always very caring and went out of his way to pray with me when a family member was ill. He is well respected through our community. Carlos is proud of the good deeds he has done for Sarasota, but remains very humble. Congratulations, Carlos.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for everything.
Carlos, if you spend a couple of more minutes with us today, we have a plaque that just commemorate a small appreciation for what you do. And what the board's heard is transport right now is right in the eye of the tiger. So I'm glad we have somebody named The Rock out there to keep us going. Anyway, our XL Award, XL recipients are employees who are models of excellence and consistently demonstrate the vision, mission, and values of our organization. They are superior performers that make an extra effort in the quality and care of our patients and families in the community. The hospital board and administrative staff of Sarasota Memorial Healthcare System recognize Carlos Rock today with the XL Award for the month of January 2016. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
A pleasure, man.
All right.
Now, I'm going to let you tell him that you're going to take it back. Because
Yes,
I'm not
all
going to
right,
mess
so
with him.
I gotta let you hold it for a second here, but then I'm gonna take it back from you because we want to embarrass you in front of management council, okay?
Okay.
Is that okay?
That'll be all fine.
But I'll tell you what, Carlos, we're gonna give you this set of takeaways,
Okay.
and take this with you. Does that
Okay.
sound good? Thank you very much for everything. I gotta tell you, I love seeing your face every day on the halls.
Thank you very much. All right.
Take care.
Next, we have the Hero Award.
So, Amy, can you come up? I think I saw you. Yep, come on, Amy. How are you?
Yes.
I appreciate
very much
that.
so.
I need
missed
help.
you at management council.
I'm sorry. So, Amy Lynch is our Hero Award for January of 2016. And so let me take a brief minute and tell you her story. Last month, while walking on Arlington Street in front of Doctor's Garden building, Amy was flagged down by a female yelling for help. Amy approached the female who was driving and learned she was hemorrhaging. The woman informed Amy that she had driven herself from home and was trying to get to the hospital. She told Amy she felt faint due to her excessive blood loss. Amy immediately contacted 911 via her cell phone and attempted to get assistance. Public safety was dispatched to the scene and a woman was transported to the emergency care center. thank you, Hammy, for being an SMH hero. Thank you very much.
Glad you were grabbing that instead of me. Well, Amy, I always find it humbling to be standing next to a hero, and today you're our hero. The Hero Hall of Fame, the hospital board and administration staff of Sarasota Memorial Healthcare System hereby inducts Amy Lynch into the Team SMH Hero Hall of Fame for actions that capture the essence of a true hero, including courage to have the persistence to face a fear, passion to always do the right thing, integrity to have a strong moral compass, and concern to have concern for the well-being of others. And it's signed today by David Veringer, President and CEO, and Greg Carter, Chair of the Sarasota County Public Hospital Board. Congratulations, Amy.
Thank you very much.
If not, you don't have to, but
No,
they'd love to hear from you.
Thank you very much for the recognition. I'm just glad I was there to help someone. Thanks.
Next is our Physician Excel recipient.
So we have our Physician Excel recipient for the fourth quarter of 2015, Dr. Stephen Casera. Dr. Casera, could you come stand by me? How you doing, my friend? I'll tell you, before I start reading this, I remember when Steve started. He came to me, and he's very humble, and he's very, very, very skilled. And he said, well, you know, I think I could provide some benefit to the hospital if I came on staff. I don't think you could have understated that any more than possible. So I know you probably don't remember that conversation, do you?
Absolutely.
Okay, but it was a very, very, we were very lucky to have you here. So now I'll get into the reading here. The recipient of the Physician Excel Award for the fourth quarter of 2015 is Dr. Stephen Casera. Dr. Casera is a gastroenterologist and has been on staff since July of 2013. Dr. Casera is a physician, but has certainly demonstrated all the characteristics that reflect that he values positive communication and mutual respect. He is very enthusiastic and engaged. Dr. Casera has revitalized the interventional endo ultrasound procedures and has brought new knowledge and expertise to the endo department. Dr. Casera's nominations have all been the same theme. He is a quality physician and awesome addition to the endoscopy and the hospital. And here's a couple of the comments. He's a great communicator and teacher. He is professional and pleasant. He makes all staff feel comfortable in their roles. He is always respectful to patients, families, and staff. He has his priorities in place. He is willing to give his cell number out. He arrives on time. And most of all, he gives patients hope. He would be the doctor I would go to. Thank you very much, Dr. Casera. Appreciate everything you've done for me.
David.
And you are the doctor I go to, so you know that already. But good to see you.
I'm going to usurp a little bit on Joe's territory because this one is kind of personal. About, let's see, it's not quite a week and a half ago, I had occasion to present at the emergency room on the 9th, this Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago. I had an obstruction in the esophagus, and they took me through the process. I got all ready to have them put me under, and then I saw Dr. Casera, who asked a few questions, and then he said he was going to give me the magic juice. And the next thing I know, I woke up, and everything was just fine, and I'm doing quite well. I thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Our Physician Excel Award. Excel recipients are physicians who are recognized as role models of excellence, superior in performance. They are leaders who consistently demonstrate a collaborative team approach in their work. These individuals strengthen the quality of patient care and the image of Sarasota Memorial Healthcare System in our community. The Hospital Board and administrative staff of Sarasota Memorial Healthcare System recognizes Dr. Stephen Casera with the Excel Award for the fourth quarter 2015. Thank you for your continued dedication to excellence. It's signed by David Verinder, President and CEO, and myself as Chair of the Board. Doctor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm going to keep this though because we're going to go back into our shoe again. All right. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the board?
Sure. So we've been here in Sarasota now just short of 3 years, and it's been the most outstanding community to practice medicine in. And I've taught and been faculty at the universities that cannot provide the quality of care that we provide here. And part of that has to do with y'all and the resources that we have at our disposal to provide care. It's just fantastic. And David mentioned revitalization of the endoscopy unit. Well, that happened because of a donation from the foundation, and we've been able to offer technology and an opportunity for patients in Sarasota that previously was available hundreds of miles from here. And so with some of the new surgeons that have come on board and some of the things that we're doing in endoscopy and with interventional radiology, we are building a world-class GI cancer program here. And thank you so much for that support.
Next is our Physician the Leadership Award for the first quarter. Sorry.
Okay. So Chris West. Chris, where are you? Come on up, sir. Yeah, wearing a jacket today, huh? Yeah. Stand up here. I'm going to get you in the frame. All right. So Chris West is our leader of the first quarter of 2016. He is the supervisor of communications and public safety and security department and has been with SMH since March of 2011. So here's a few comments from your nominations. Chris is an innovative professional. He has elevated the communications and technology division to a whole new level. He truly cares about the mission of public safety department. All nominations agree that Chris is a true team player. He is always a gentleman who is very respectful and easy to approach. He listens to concerns and ideas without prejudging. He has done an outstanding job in serving all departments to provide them with the highest level of service. Chris has worked tirelessly with Women's and Children's Services to ensure the safety of our most vulnerable patients. Chris is a true asset to SMH, and we're very fortunate to have him on our team. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Well, Chris, just again, a token of our appreciation, the Leadership Award. If your action inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader, and you definitely embrace that. The hospital board and administrative staff of Sarasota Memorial Healthcare System presents Christopher West with the Leadership Award for the first quarter 2016, with thanks for your continued dedication to excellence. Signed today by David Veringer, President and CEO, and Greg Carter, Chair of the Sarasota County Public Hospital Board. Congratulations,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Appreciate it a lot.
Really no speech, just like to thank Chief Watson for all those team-building fishing trips.
So let me just say something about Chris real quick. So if you had to just pull a number off right now, because you're in charge of this, how many cameras, security cameras, do we have around the system?
Over 600.
Over 600 cameras. I think you personally installed all of them, right?
It seems that way.
Somewhat like that, right? But it's really an innovative, and it puts us on top of what we do all throughout security because of the innovation he's brought to us that didn't exist before you. So really appreciate everything. Okay, thank you.
Our next item is the report of the medical staff. Dr. Karen Hamad, MD.
I have nothing to report, thank you.
Okay. I see that Alex is not here, so we won't have the auxiliary report, and we'll...
Pardon me?
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll go to Ed Miller with the auxiliary report. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mm-hmm.
The report of the auxiliary is as follows. First, I want to document the fact that many of our volunteers work Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day to make sure the services to our hospital were maintained as usual during this festive period. While the holiday season was taking most of our members' time, we did begin a few initiatives for the year. Our treasurer, Dan Trigg, is leading the process of updating the auxiliary status in the Community Foundation's website called the Giving Partner. This document is a powerful introduction of our presence in the community to demonstrate our goals and needs. It outlines our commitment to primarily serve the hospital and to document the additional services we oversee. Up-to-date, correct information in this public document enhances our mission to the community at large. It establishes our need for funding, describing our gifts to the community, such as the most important activity, that of providing scholarships to local graduating high school students who wish to go on to higher education in the medical field. We also support a library which holds a vast assortment of hardcover books, magazines, periodicals, newspapers, etc. New and latest editions of popular books are introduced monthly, the cost of which is supported by the auxiliary. Heart pillows is another thing. These are sewn by many volunteers. We finance this activity by providing all the materials needed. They provide their time. Education costs. We award to qualified employees wishing to further their education by going to related medical conferences and meetings. Current funding of these services is not meeting our goals. It also documents our need to have local people looking to serve the community. Our auxiliary offers an outlet and a place for those persons wishing to be part of the community. I mentioned previously that of satisfying the 4 goals that we determined to be most important to providing our expected high degree of service to the hospital. I can report that these committees are being formed and implementation of action plans will begin shortly. I will report on the status of these committees in my subsequent reports. That concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. I'd also like to recognize Ed Miller, as I understand that he also himself volunteered on Christmas. So we thank you very much. I saw you. Okay, we won't have the foundation report, so we'll move to the secretary's report. Mr. Strasser.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are simply 2 meetings of the board in February. The first is on Tuesday, February the 2nd, 8 o'clock board breakfast, 8:30 PSI board, 9 o'clock quality committee, 10 o'clock mission and planning, and 11 o'clock investment committee. The second meeting is on February the 16th, which is also a Tuesday, 11 o'clock review of finances, 11:30 peer review, and 1 o'clock the public board meeting. That concludes the meetings, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Strasser. Next, we have the treasurer's report. Joe DiVirgilio.
Mr. Chairman, I have one item today, and that's approval of the bad debt and charity care for the month of December. And I move approval of the bad debt and charity care for the month ending December 31st, 2015, in the amount of $14,349,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. We'll start with the Chief Financial Officer, Bill Wolchin, for the first operations report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have the financial highlights for December 2015, and I'll note that fiscal year-to-date numbers represent our first fiscal quarter of fiscal year 16. So for operating revenue for the system for the month of December, we had operating revenue of $56,648,000 compared to a budget of $54,108,000. For the 3 months ended in December, operating revenue of $165,744,000 compared to a budget of $161,424,000. For the system, total expenses for the month of December, $56,102,000 compared to a budget of $54,431,000. Fiscal year to date, $163,362,000 compared to a budget of $161,332,000. For our operating income for the system in the rating agency format, for December, $3,326,000 compared to a budget of $2,422,000. December's operating margin was 5.5% compared to an operating margin budget of 4.2%. Fiscal year to date, we're at 6% compared to an operating budget of 4.8% budget. And for hospital statistics for December, and these are for the 3 months of the fiscal year, so far our average daily occupancy has been 457 patients compared to a budget of 437 patients. The average length of stay for the 3 months, 4.64 days, compared to prior year, that the 3 months ended December of 2014, 4.62 days. For the 3 months, our admissions total 7,465. We had budgeted 6,739. Surgery cases year to date for actual 5,171 compared to a budget of 4,933. We've had 850 babies born compared to a budget of 891. For the hospital's outpatient registrations through the hospital system, actual 104,271 compared to a budget of 103,002. For emergency care center registrations, 30,424 compared to a budget of 26,622. And in looking at our case mix index, for all patients, 1.92, and for Medicare patients, 2.01. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Bill? If not, thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Now we have our operations report. Chief Operating Officer Lori Lang.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. It's with excitement that I share that Sarasota Memorial Cardiac Acute Telemetry Unit has received the prestigious Silver Beacon Award of Excellence. 8 Courtyard Tower, which specializes in the care of heart failure patients, has been awarded the Silver Beacon Award from the American Association of Critical Care Nurses. This prestigious award is unparalleled with magnet recognition, the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award, and the National Quality Healthcare Award. There are only 12 units in the United States that has achieved this 3-year recognition and designation, and our 8 Courtyard Tower is the only heart failure unit in Florida to have earned this honor. Moving from awards to campus renovations and construction, I'm excited to share with you that we have successfully replaced the 2 main campus CT scanners in our radiology department. These 2 machines that came in under budget of $1.3 million have been installed and are operational, and these are the pictures. And one of the things I'd like to share is you see the blue line at the top. That's actually an LED light that can change colors based on patient's preference, and there's been studies that have shown that when patients are in pain and need to come in for imaging studies, that the blue light reduces their pain level, and so on the scale of 1 to 10, it actually comes down a point or 2 in that calming blue light. The next is our 2 new operating rooms. They were completed last week, and ACA was on site on Friday, and they were approved. And for those of you get excited by ORs, these truly are big and beautiful. The picture on the left is the entranceway, and of course the one on the right is the picture of the operating room itself, and we have 2 this size. The next is the emergency care center's waiting room. With our increased volumes, we want to make sure that we have waiting space for people while they're waiting. These are pictures of this new space. It was completed last week, and ACA came on the 15th and toured this area as well and gave approval for occupancy. This area, through its redesign, has added an additional 40 seats, so we can accommodate 62 patients waiting at any given time. But what I'd like to say is the way you see it now is the way we like it, which is patients are not waiting. But if they need to wait, we have a beautiful space for them. As part of our capacity project, you're aware that we're creating a departure lounge, and this lounge is a work in progress. Construction is underway. It is just off of the A elevator where the former mother-baby discharge area was housed. Completion is expected for mid-February. This is artist renderings on the left of what the signage will be from Tamiami Trail, and on the right is what we anticipate the space to look like for our patients once they're ready to be discharged and can be discharged as an inpatient or an observation patient and are waiting for transportation or their medications from Walgreens to be delivered. This is where they can wait in comfort. And again, this is scheduled to be opening the middle of February. Moving on to our rehabilitation pavilion, the demolition is almost complete. The building, for the most part, is down, and we can attest to that from the sounds from our offices. And it was really quite something to watch as they were taking the building down piece by piece. On the right is the rendering of the pavilion that we are going to go into groundbreaking, which will be set on February 11th at 11 a.m. We hope that you will all be there with your hard hats. Moving on to community events, this past Sunday, we hosted an open house at HealthFit out on Rand Boulevard. This was to get on the New Year's kick of health and wellness. Over 150 people attended on Saturday the 16th, to take advantage of our free fitness and wellness assessments. And due to this event, we had over 100 new enrollees for our health center. And we're also getting into the running business. So this year in March, we will host our very first 5K, which part of the fitness program at HealthFit is you can begin training for this event. It will be on March 26th. We will have a 1-mile fund run as well as a timed 5K, and all proceeds will benefit the Sarasota Memorial Healthcare Foundation. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. I realize that I did not read the normal announcement at the beginning of the meeting today. So in that light, if there's anyone in the audience who would like to address the board, please fill out a speaker card and give it to our board secretary, Mr. Sisto. Next, we have committee reports. Our first is the Audit Committee. Mr. James Meister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Audit Committee of the Sarasota County Public Hospital Board met on January the 5th. The first order of business was the external auditor's report on their annual audit of the district's financial statements as of September 30th, 2015. Lori Neeson, KPMG partner, reported on the financial statement audit as of September 30th of 2015. She discussed the reports issued by KPMG, which include an independent auditor's report with an unmodified clean opinion. Other reports issued include the independent auditor's report on internal control, also with no findings, a debt compliance letter related to the master trust indenture with U.S. Bank with no issues noted, required communications with the governing board, including the management letter. Again, no findings and no recommendations were noted. Lastly, on the examination report related to the compliance with Florida statutes was issued. Again, no issues to report. Jennifer Jenkins, Senior Manager with KPMG, discussed the significant audit areas and key assumptions and estimates requiring a detailed audit approach. Some of these areas include investments, net patient service revenue, contractual allowances and doubtful accounts, long-term debt, and payroll. Also, manual and automated controls were reviewed. Jennifer advised nothing was identified. Assets increased over the prior year while there was a decline in cash and cash equivalents, partially due to the pension contributions. Patient AR was up with volume, as was patient service revenue. Restricted and board-designated funds also increased. Lori reviewed the liability and net asset portion of the balance sheet, noting liability is down slightly from the prior year. Net patient service revenue is up 13% due to increased admissions and volume across the board. Costs related to those increased revenues drove expenses up respectively, along with salaries and supplies. Non-operating items increased by 20%. I would move to recommend to the full board the approval to accept the financial statement audit of KPMG for 2015.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
The other part of the meeting I like to report on is the quarterly update by Mark Thornton. Mark started the meeting and thanked Darrell Henry for his tenure of as chairman of the audit committee for the last 4 years, and I echo Mark's comments about Darrell.
Thank you, Jim.
Mark reported on the completed audit projects for the first quarter. They include safe practices in drug diversion prevention, the SMART Plan 2015, segregations of duties in PFM, the SunQuest Lab systems go live, and the follow-up audit of the duplicate MRNs and visit numbers. Audit projects in process and planned for the second quarter include safe practices in drug diversion prevention, HIPAA meaningful use PCI audit, the 340B annual audit, McRoberts alarm system, vendor security system, construction audit of the rehab pavilion, computer encryption status, and follow-up audits on medical gas and vacuum system controls, perimeter security, and market share analysis. And Mr. Chairman, that completes my report on the audit committee meeting of early January.
Thank you, Jim, very much. Next, we have the Finance Committee report. Bob Strasser.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance Committee met on January the 5th. The first item on the agenda was a selection committee recommendation for interventional radiology, and I'd like to propose a motion. I move approval of the ranking of general contractors and architects and engineers for the renovation of the interventional radiology suite as recommended by the Finance Committee, pursuant to the ranking made by the Selection Committee following the public review and selection process as follows. For general contractors, 1, J2 Solutions, Inc. 2, PHM Group, Inc. 3, Willis Smith Construction, Inc. And for architects and engineers, 1, KTH Architects, 2, Flad Architects, and 3, Gresham Smith Architects.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
The second item, Mr. Chairman, was a look back at the PALM scanner process. Rob Wilburn provided background information on his project, which began 3 years ago. First and foremost, the use of PALM scanners has enhanced patient safety by the ability to identify the right patient with the right medical record number. Rob provided information on patient safety, patient experience, unresponsive patients, and revenue cycle effectiveness. He stated that medical identity theft is on the rise and is worse than just having credit cards stolen. Rob showed the biometrics technology and stated that vein patterns are established at birth and do not change. SMH statistics predict that 360,000 people have enrolled in the system. Item 3 was the 2015 credit profile and Moody's rating methodology. Nelson Lane advised that the credit rating for SMH with Moody's is A1 and A-1 with Fitch. He reviewed the history of the credit rating beginning with, quote, stakes in the ground, end of quote, in the late 2000s, and how SMH's finances have improved over time. We have had a very strong year recently, which has enhanced profitability as to leverage. We intended to be a little bit below medium. We intended to be a little bit below medium in debt service coverage in prior years, but in year 2015, our coverage ratio was 6.1, which was higher than both medians. Liquidity is a strong point for us and always has been. Days in AR are very strong. Nelson reviewed the Moody's scorecard. Minimum guidelines for AA-rated systems are revenue of $1.5 billion. Sarasota Memorial's revenue is approximately half that. The fourth item was an update on Medicare sequestration. Bill Wojcik advised that since the inception of the sequestration of Medicare payments, which began in 2013, 4 more years of impact have been added to the program. The initially approved 9-year program was estimated to reduce SMH's Medicare payments by a total of $38.1 million. Now, with the addition of 4 more years, essentially now a 13-year program, it is estimated that sequestration will reduce SMH's medical payments by a total of $67.2 million. And that ends my report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. Quality report. Alex Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Quality Committee also met on January 5th, but met in closed session. Therefore, I have no report.
Thank you, Alex. Now we have the President's report with our President and CEO, David Verender.
Give me a second. Bill, you got an idea?
Unplug it.
How about Bill works on it?
It's on the home page. It's on the.
All right. I used to be able to do those things. So I have our report for our December report card that I was going to talk about first here. This is our year-to-date, or even as it works out, it's our first quarter report card. So I'll start with the service pillar. We have our HCAPs, inpatient HCAPs. Our goal is to have 9 out of 11 of our domains at above or equal to the 50th percentile, and I'm happy to report we are exceeding that, and we're at 10 out of 11. We also monitor our outpatient number of domains at a number greater than or equal to 50 percentile. We have a goal of hitting 55 out of 58 of those. We are 1 short of our goal, so we hit this past month, our year-to-date rather, 54 out of 58. In the people pillar, we look at our turnover rate for those employees who have been here for 12 months or less, and we had reset this goal just if everyone remembers to concentrate on that, as that's the most costly piece of our turnover. We have a goal of being 34% or less. We're a little bit higher than that right now. We're at 34.41%, but making movements to be under that. In the quality pillar, we have infection prevention, which is our combined overall standardized infection rate. We have a goal of being less than 0.95, where national average is 1.0. And I'm happy to report that we have one of our best scores we've ever had at 0.89. So thank you very much for everyone who contributed to that. In our finance pillar, as Bill has already reported, we had our operating margin goal, or our budget, of 5.2%, and we did meet that goal and exceeded by a slight number at 5.5%. In our growth pillar, we have our strategic growth goals, which is our inpatient admits plus our observation outpatients. We have a goal of being 35,301, which is our budget number, and I'm happy to report we're projecting. What we do is we take the actual numbers that we've experienced and then project that out for the rest of the year, and we're projecting that to hit 38,560 at this point. So doing well there. And in the same aspect, our outpatient registrations at 474,000, and we are exceeding that at 757,000. So when we look a little bit closer at our HCAP scores, you can see on the left-hand side the various, the 9 various indicators, and then you can see what our goal scores were in third quarter of 15, fourth quarter of 15, and then in the far right column, the first quarter of FY16, which would be the ending in this past December. So we have improved in each and every category. While we hit 10 out of 11, we also improved in every category, or at least did the same. I think we had one where you had to change a 0. So very happy to report this. And on our one goal that's been a little bit elusive for quite some time now, quietness of hospital environment, we continue to improve each quarter. So thank you for the team that goes out to that. On our outpatient, which is still a report we're getting a little bit used to because this is a new way of looking at it this past year. You can see on the left-hand side we have the various categories that these come in under, starting with ambulatory surgery and ending in urgent care centers. And so we have 2 that have some improvement opportunities. That would be, one of those would be ambulatory surgery, and the other first physicians group. But still hitting 54 out of the 58 domains at greater than 50%. Moving on to our people, as our auxiliary president acknowledged he was here for Christmas Day. We also had Santa come by after he spent time, I guess, in everybody's houses around the world. So Santa and his band of elves and hospital staff helped ensure our sick children still had a fun Christmas. Pictured on SMH's pediatric unit from left are Sarah Sang of pharmacy, Jennifer Mayer, who's obviously a physician here, our elves Mario Del Cubo, Ben Kalish, Carol Ann Kalish, who is obviously our chief legal officer. Santa, I guess was out of the bag. That's really Greg Kalish and not Chris Kringle. Chris Worth, advanced practice nurse, Shannon Messenger, and Heather Salote, both RNs, and Jessica Votor, MST. It's an annual tradition for Greg and Carol Ann and their family to visit our pediatrics and donate gifts on Christmas morning. Carol Ann, how many years does this make that you guys have done that?
Williams Parker has done it for like 30 years, and this is our 6th year. This is the first year Ben is taller than me in this picture.
So thank you to you and your family. So appreciate everything. It really means a lot up there. And I will have to say one little story. We had one child who did not think he really wanted to see Santa when Santa came, and then had a change of heart. And as it works out, Santa had been at home and had probably gotten in the pool at that point. It was so warm that day. And so the nurse called back and said, the child's, upset he missed Santa and that type of thing. So I got to tell you, Santa got up, put the suit back on, came back up and saw the child. So
It was actually sweet Ben Kalish that put the Santa suit on.
well, I wasn't going to out who it was, but it was the elf that took advantage of the suit at that point. So, but it was very nice of them to do that. So not to be lost on Christmas, we also had an exciting rocking New Year's Eve. Whereas the day turned tonight, we had already delivered 12 babies that day and had 4 women laboring in the hours before midnight. And for you who don't know our volumes, that's a huge amount of volume going on during those hours. And New Year's baby Antonio was born at the stroke of midnight, so welcoming in the new year. Thank you for all the team that worked that night. Staying in the people category, in what we're calling our medicine and music, recently the local piano friends group hosted a piano-thon at Sarasota Memorial in memory of their piano teacher, Christella DeLuca. Comprised of both professionals and amateurs, the group's common bond is the love of playing the piano. So if you remember, delivered last year at the end of May, Sarasota Memorial Steinway baby grand piano located in the main lobby is a result of the local team's vision and fundraising efforts. Pineview student and pianist Jack Gallahan thought a piano in the hospital would provide a calming effect, and his dream became a reality thanks to the generosity of donors. Jack has built a team of community volunteer pianists who came in and play the baby grand and a piano's digital player system featured relaxing music at other times. So I know, Dr. Hammond, I know you and your mother had a lot to do with that, so we really appreciate your help with that. And it really has turned out to be a great piece. After we moved it around a couple of times, changed the volume a little bit, it's really well received by our guests and our staff. In continuing our Patients and Music theme here, our violinist and RN on Sarasota Memorial's orthopedic unit, Jamie Amberson, and her friend and pianist Becky Metcalf provided a beautiful and soothing concert for all as well down in that area. So it's getting plenty of use. Please pass that along to your mother. I'd like to acknowledge, and she's probably very embarrassed that I'm doing this right now, but that our very own Chief Operating Officer, Lori Lang, has been named to the National Board of American Diabetes Association. And when we hired her last year, she came to me and asked and said, I'm on this board. Would it be a problem if I stayed on that? I know this will be, I think this will be a problem with timing and all that. And I said, well, we actually embrace and encourage this. So this is fantastic that you would do this. And we couldn't be prouder of you, Lori, and all the time you spend doing that. Thank you. Quality section, our SMH Nursing and Rehab Center received the Governor's Gold Seal Award. The Gold Seal Program awards and recognizes nursing home facilities that demonstrate excellent and long-term care over a sustained period, promotes the stability of the industry, and facilitates the physical, social, and emotional well-being of nursing home facility residents. Sarasota Memorial's Nursing and Rehab Center is just one of 3 facilities in Sarasota to receive this designation. Only about 3% of facilities have achieved this status. So congratulations to our team. So we had this past January 14th, I think last week, we had trauma grand rounds, of which we had our own Dr. Malone participate in. So Dr. Malone, I hope you don't mind me putting your picture on the presentation here. So you gave a great report earlier on that experience with Dr. Brockhurst and others, and it was, I'm sorry I missed it, but I heard that it was a fantastic experience.
It was fabulous. It really was.
And the staff very much appreciated you being there, so thank you.
Thank you.
We have several upcoming events. I just wanted to mention we have our Advanced Orthopedic Solutions on Painful Joints Part 3 lecture series. Starting on February 3rd and going through the 24th. And we have several of our orthopedic surgeons that are participating, including Dr. Stolarski, Dr. Dingle, Dr. Schofield, Dr. White, and Dr. Patel. So we thank them for their continuing to work with us on these. We also have our pain management experts give free lecture series as well on February 10th, the 17th, and 24th. And we have our very own Dr. Piera, Dr. Lindsay Schroyer, and our newest Dr. Courtney Simmons Rasuman. I'm not sure the team that worked that night. Staying in the people category, in what we're calling our medicine and music. Recently, the local piano friends group hosted a piano-thon at Sarasota Memorial in memory of their piano teacher, Christella DeLuca. Comprised of both professionals and amateurs, the group's common bond is the love of playing the piano. So if you remember, delivered last year at the end of May, Sarasota Memorial Steinway baby grand piano located in the main lobby is a result of the local team's vision and fundraising efforts. Pineview student and pianist Jack Gallahan thought a piano in the hospital would provide a calming effect, and his dream became a reality thanks to the generosity of donors. Jack has built a team of community volunteer pianists who came in and play the baby grand, and the piano's digital player system features relaxing music at other times. So I know, Dr. Hammond, I know you and your mother had a lot to do with that, so we really appreciate your help with that. And it really has turned out to be a great piece. After we moved it around a couple of times, changed the volume a little bit, it's really well received by our guests and our staff. In continuing our Patients and Music theme here, our violinist and RN on Sarasota Memorial's orthopedic unit, Jamie Amberson, and her friend and pianist Becky Metcalf provided a beautiful and soothing concert for all as well down in that area. So it's getting plenty of use. Please pass that along to your mother. I'd like to acknowledge, and she's probably very embarrassed that I'm doing this right now, but that our very own Chief Operating Officer, Lori Lang, has been named to the National Board of American Diabetes Association. And when we hired her last year, she came to me and asked and said, I'm on this board. Would it be a problem if I stayed on that? I know this will be, I think this will be a problem with timing and all that. And I said, well, we actually embrace and encourage this. So this is fantastic that you would do this. And we couldn't be prouder of you, Lori, and all the time you spend doing that. Thank you. Quality section, our SMH Nursing and Rehab Center received the Governor's Gold Seal Award. The Gold Seal program awards and recognizes nursing home facilities that demonstrate excellent and long-term care over a sustained period, promotes the stability of the industry, and facilitates the physical, social, and emotional well-being of nursing home facility residents. Sarasota Memorial's Nursing and Rehab Center is just one of 3 facilities in Sarasota to receive this designation. Only about 3% of facilities have achieved this status. So congratulations to our team. So we had this past January 14th, I think last week, we had trauma grand rounds, which we had our own Dr. Malone participate in. So Dr. Malone, I hope you don't mind me putting your picture on the presentation here. So you gave a great report earlier on that experience with Dr. Brockhurst and others, and it was, I'm sorry I missed it, but I heard that it was a fantastic experience.
It was fabulous. It really was.
We have, and the staff very much appreciated you being there, so thank you.
Thank you.
We have several upcoming events. I just wanted to mention we have our Advanced Orthopedic Solutions on Painful Joints Part 3 lecture series. Starting on February 3rd and going through the 24th. And we have several of our orthopedic surgeons that are participating, including Dr. Stolarsky, Dr. Dingle, Dr. Schofield, Dr. White, and Dr. Patel. So we thank them for their continuing to work with us on these. We also have our pain management experts give free lecture series as well on February 10th, the 17th, and 24th. And we have our very own Dr. Piera, Dr. Lindsay Schroyer, and our newest Dr. Courtney Simmons Rasuman. I'm not sure I know how to pronounce.
Rasmussen.
Thank you. I butchered that pretty bad. I apologize. But we're welcoming all 3 of them and appreciate their timely coming in. The next thing is, I don't really read patient letters like other people have done in this position before, but I came across this one. And it just begged to come to the board, and someone sent me this, and it was out of one of our students in the local area had written this as an answer to their test, and the test question was, why do you think Liam and his mom are happy to arrive in America? What are some other reasons they might want to come to America? Use details from the text to support your answer. And it just was a great little note. It just says, well, if they still want potatoes, we have tater tots, French fries, and sweet potato fries. Just go to McDonald's. Plus, we know we're safe because we have the U.S. Army, Sarasota Memorial Hospital, and the police to protect us if we get sick or hurt. So we have all that going for us here, and I thought it was just a great little note to share.
It's wonderful.
We were able this month, SMH unveiled a new health and wellness station in Newtown's Robert L. Taylor Community Complex. The screening kiosk helps provide free blood pressure, vision, weight, BMI checks, and other wellness information. Our hope is people will begin monitoring their health at a time and place that's convenient for them, and to visit the station for health presentations in the future. And I know this got discussed yesterday at the MLK breakfast. Mr. Carter was there, as well as others. And I did have an opportunity to run into Dr. Washington Hill, who really suggested this to us, and he suggested it to us, and we were a little embarrassed. We had not thought about it, so Peter Taylor and his team ran with it very quickly, and I think from concept to implementation was probably less than a month. But it was, we're very happy that we're represented there now. So,
Yeah, David,
yes, sir.
we were there at the breakfast, and this has been very well received. I got comments from the mayor and several other people that think that this was just an outstanding idea. So I think we need to thank the folks that put this together to do this. I think it's been very well received.
Well, I got to tell you, that would be Mr. Taylor, who's probably sitting right behind me. There he is. So they moved very quickly on it, and I was just glad that Dr. Hill and others came to us with the opportunity, and we were able to fulfill it. So thank you. And Lori already reported on this. These are some very aged, old pictures now of the Redder demolition for the building that's really down. She said it's practically down. I think the only thing that's left is the elevator shaft, the old, I don't know if that's EF, it's the F elevator shaft, yes, that's still there. And I don't know when that's coming down, but I would imagine it's very soon. So, and we'll have a new rehab hospital going up soon. So, just on behalf of administration, we'd like to wish everybody a happy new year and thank you for everything you do. Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, David, very much. Next item, I don't think we have anything on the consent agenda. Have we received any public comments? No public comments. Legal matters, Caroline?
I have no report.
Is there any other business for discussion? If not, we stand adjourned. Thank you very much.